Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of The Gavel, featuring attorney Ana Toledo. Ms. Toledo is the senior attorney and general counsel to Targeted Justice. She has a background in constitutional and environmental law and is an experienced litigator, including 2 cases at the U.S. Supreme Court. And here's Ms. Toledo.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for being here another week, listening to the important legal news for our community. Before we start, I want to read a Bible verse that I think it's very appropriate because all the dark entities are going crazy and doing a lot of horrible things. We all know that the attacks have increased substantially, at least the electromagnetic weapons attacks, even if the gang stalking has gone down. So for that, I chose today Matthew 7:21 through 23 that says, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. On that day, many will say to me, 'Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name and cast out demons in your name and do many mighty works in your name?' And then I will declare to them, 'I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness.' For everyone who does wicked things," this is John 3:20, "wicked things hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his works should be exposed." And that's what's happening. Some of the stuff that I'm going to cover today is exactly what's happening. People can go to church every Sunday, but if they act deceitfully and serving other than God, then they're not going to get in there. They're not going to get a free pass. So please like, share, and subscribe. I am not doing this live today because it was impossible for me to be at 3 p.m. with you live, but true to my commitment with all of you that I'm going to be here every week giving you the good news in our fight for freedom from modern day slavery. That's why I pre-recorded it. So please again like, share, and subscribe to fight the censorship that we all know we undergo. Before I go into the news for this week, I wanted to share with you a very encouraging video from the district attorney for the District of Columbia. She was confirmed, Judge Janine Pirro. And let me just share with you the video that I have from her. And it's just listen carefully to what she says.
Victim of crime my whole life.
Hold on, let me start.
This is my calling. This is who I am. I have fought for the underdog, for the silent victim of crime my whole life. I have fought for women and children and the elderly and minorities my whole career. My heart bleeds for those people who have been targeted by a criminal who decides to upend their lives, who takes a loved one away from families. And I've seen the ripple effect. You know, it's like you toss a stone in a pond and then there's a little ripple, but then it goes wider and wider and wider. And the impact on the community is great. Look, I had a great job at Fox, but I'm back to my roots. This is who I am.
So isn't that amazing? Now, what I do want to share with you is that this is the woman that is vested with the responsibility of prosecuting the government criminals that have illegally obliterated the lives of people, victims of weaponization. So if you go to the District of Columbia webpage over there, you have the phone number and the email. And I really urge you to send not an, off the deep end email, but a heartfelt email saying, Judge Janine, I saw your video and I am one of those underdogs that was illegally persecuted by government criminals at the FBI and other agencies from the intelligence community. I am a victim of government weaponization, and I urge you to investigate and look into targetedjustice.com. They've made the map for you. So I really urge you to write to her very respectfully. Do not write a 5-page email. She's not going to read it. Just make it short, sweet, to the point, saying, please investigate the improper conduct by the government criminals, starting with the FBI, because it's not just a Russia hoax. There are many law-abiding Americans that do not have a voice that need for you to listen to us. Okay, so just make it heartfelt, and if just don't go into the fantastical things. The people that do that, you know what, are people that don't want the best for our community. I'm sorry, because what that does is an instantaneous switch to turn off the person's attention. Okay. So having said that, there is some good news. There is a new official at the FBI. Pam Bondi and Director Kash Patel have appointed Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey as an additional Deputy Director of the Bureau. Now, Bailey will serve as co-deputy director alongside Dan Bongino. You ask yourselves, why is this good? And I'm going to tell you why. This is the Attorney General that filed the case, Missouri versus Biden, that sought an end to the censorship in social media that was prompted by the FBI, the CIA, all the intelligence agencies, like the Twitter files. For example, that FBI had a field office at Twitter to censor your speech and mine, because they weren't going after accounts like Candace Owens. No, they were going after small accounts, and I think that the reason for that is not only that they were going against patriots and people that are related to or affiliated with the Republican and conservative movement, but also I think they started to be scared of the people that were speaking out against this illegal program. So he knows about censorship, and he has fought it. He has put his money where his mouth is. So in July of 2023, the district court judge, Terry A. Doughty, originally issued a really good injunction prohibiting Biden administration agencies and officials from contacting social media companies to request content removal, which, Facebook, they were all doing it regarding COVID, regarding all of that. So the Fifth Circuit later narrowed the district court's decision and only limiting it to violations by the White House, FBI, CDC, and Surgeon General. And then the Supreme Court severely limited the case, and they changed it to Murphy versus Missouri, because it was Murphy that went on appeal on certiorari to the Supreme Court. However, the case is still alive, and I think that good things can continue coming from it. So I think this is a good step in a good direction, because this is a very knowledgeable man about censorship and about targeting. His clients were, for example, not his client, but the people that were on his side as plaintiffs was, for example, Gateway Pundit's Jim Hoft, and many others that have been censored, severely censored. So now the deep state is in panic mode, total, absolute panic mode. And I want to share with you one of the reasons why they are so worried is because they have presented House Bill 4971, which was presented by a Mississippi Benny G. Thompson. This is yet another reason why you need to come to targeted action. And let me tell you why. You can find it today, the reasons why this bill is totally bad, because some people immediately thought, oh my God, it's good. They're going to regulate the watch list. No, it's evidence that the deep state is in crisis and in panic mode. Well, the first thing is the short title. As you already know, the titles of the acts proposed in Congress have nothing to do. Usually they have nothing to do with what they're really pursuing. For example, the Patriot Act. What did it do? Persecute and go after patriots. So now this bill is called the Terrorist Watch List Data Accuracy and Transparency Act. And everything about it is wrong, starting with the fact that what they are intending to do is legitimize an administrative document that is prepared by the intelligence community called the Watch Listing Guidance. The problem with that is that that document does not get published in the Federal Register, is not subject to public comment, and its contents are secret. So here you have Congress legitimizing a procedure that is completely in the dark. If you read today's Targeted Justice newsletter, it has a link to the Intercept's article where they were discussing the 2000. Okay, so the criminals are messing with the camera. Apologize for that. With the watch listing guidance back then. So what happens is that let me see if I have it here. That's not there. So what happens is this. As you know, there are a lot of things that are wrong with the terrorist screening database. And legitimizing a secret procedure that is not subject to public scrutiny through the publication, like under the Administrative Procedures Act, all regulations enacted by agencies have to be published and subject to comments. That is what makes them legal, as opposed to an act of Congress. You know, agencies can enact regulations that have force of law only because they are published in the Federal Register and they are subject to comment. But this would not be subject to comment. So this is yet another reason why we need you to come to Targeted Action 2025. We are going to prepare a flyer for you to explain to your representative why this act cannot pass as it stands. It would be great if Congress, for once and for all, that they haven't done it in 21 years, said, yeah, the terrorist screening database can only have the names of known and suspected terrorists, but with probable cause. That would totally solve the problem, because they would have to remove the names of all the non-investigative subjects. And I'm going to show you here how, let me just add this to the stage, how crucial this is, okay? Well, yeah, the criminals are not letting me add to the stage this document. There it is, okay. So in this document, you see, this is up, okay, it's up to 2017 because that is the data that we obtained from the El Haiti versus Cable case in the Eastern District of Virginia. But in here, this table was produced with data produced by the terrorist screening database. They admit under oath that, actually, in the Inspector General report, that 99% of the nominations to the TSDB make it in. So what happens is this. As you can see from this chart that I made here for you, okay, this is how it goes. You have, let's take the last calendar year, 2017. This has grown in the millions, okay? We know it, but we don't have the evidence. And the reason we know it is because they added the J6ers, the parents that protested at school board meetings, which are over 1 million, and the people that oppose the COVID mandates that were declared to be violent extremists, which are probably over another 1 million. So what we have here is only until 2017. And you can see that, for example, total nominations were 480,984. Total ads were to the watch list, which is handling codes 1 and 2, 166,603. The rejections supposedly were 5,215. But there you have that if they add 99% of the nominations, in 2017, they added 309,166 people to handling codes 3 and 4. And that's their numbers. That's not our numbers. So, because when you see the total ads versus the total nominations minus the ads, minus the rejections, that is the number you get. How come you don't have as rejections these 309,000 plus the 5,000? Because those are the ones that don't go to the watch list component, that go to handling codes 3 and 4. I hope, I know I have explained this many a times, and I hope you can convey it as clearly as possible to your remove from stage. Okay. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk to you about was the so that bill is completely wrong. Last week, and we need to oppose it. Last week, it seems Mr. Kash Patel woke up from his slumber. I had mentioned this, but the important thing is that he removed Jensen. He removed Jensen from being the head of the DC field office. And Jensen was supposed to be one of those persons that really persecuted a lot of J6ers and targeted individuals. So they became irate, and they just went off the charts. And so they sent a letter protesting this. This is outrageous. And one post that I found in Twitter and on X, and I just don't know, but it says over a dozen of high-ranking FBI officials tied to the anti-Trump operations, J6 persecutions, and foreign surveillance have been removed without warning. This network wasn't just spying on Trump. Listen to this. It was running domestic psychological warfare, burying evidence, using foreign tech to profile patriots, embedded foreign agents protected by rogue FBI officials, use AI to track America First figures under counter-extremism cover. In June 2025, U.S. Cyber Command seized the Bureau's cloud. Inside treason-level files, illegal wiretaps on journalists, facial scans from rallies, private call recordings flagged for words like QFS, Trump Constitution. High-level FBI bosses met bi-monthly with Black Cube, WEF counter-counsels, and other foreign-linked contractors. Now, here is what we need to investigate. It says that the FBI ran something called Operation Spindle, modeled on CCP surveillance, targeting Christians, veterans, parents, and patriots. 27 million Americans mapped and cataloged. And listen to this. The database is now in Space Force hands. I didn't write this. This is out there on the internet. So it seems that there are other people that are in on what these people are doing. So we have to, more of this is going to come out. That's why we want you to write to Judge Janine. Okay. Finally, targeted action. It's going to be safer than ever. And I want to play for you another clip that is about this. Okay. Let me show you. I apologize, but the criminals are doing their little numbers on me. and on this broadcast, because they clearly don't want me posting this for you, but I'm going to, because it's very important that you see this for those of you that are coming to targeted action.
D.C. Police Union is showing you that ever since Donald Trump took over Washington, D.C., over the first 7 days compared to the 7 days prior to that, robbery is down 46%, assault with a deadly weapon is down 6%, carjacking down 83%, car theft 21%, and so on and so forth. This formula can be replicated. The formula that yielded these results can be replicated in every blue city across the country that is struggling with crime.
There you have it. So I think this the time is
down
perfect.
46%.
The time is
Assault with a
perfect.
deadly weapon is down 6%.
Okay. The time is perfect for us, and DC is going to be a genuinely safe. Okay. Yeah, the criminals are doing their number. I'm so sorry. There we go. Well, I don't have to apologize for the criminals' conduct, because it's on them. You know, I'm doing the best I can here. Anyway, so I really want you to, we have like 230 people that have already signed up. And this is a really important opportunity that we have to go talk to your congressman about two important things. Number one, we need the Patriot Act repealed. Actually, more than one. We need civilians to be included in the Havana Act and investigated. And now we have to oppose this bill about legitimizing and making an act of Congress a secret watch listing guidance that nobody even has the opportunity to object to, because it's not even publicized. So I really urge you to make it to targeted action. For those of you that have not seen the webpage, we have in our activism page, we have targeted action. You go to activism, it's targeted action 2025. And let me see if it would stop sharing that one. Okay. Targeted action 2025, and just watch it there. Okay. I will be seeing you next week, and thank you. Things are good. Things are good. I anticipate that this week there's probably arrests that are going to happen. So I really hope that you signed up for targeted action and make it there, September 5 through the 9th. Thank you.